Hi, my name is Sulin, and today we're going to be working on a geometry problem very similar to those that can be found on the math section of the SAT. Let's take a look at our question. In the diagram below, GH is parallel to DE. Which of the following statements is not necessarily true? On test day, we would automatically go to our answer choices and try to determine what calculations or math we need to do to answer this question. However, for today, we're going to break down the diagram so we not only get this question correct, but we can learn to better answer any question that's similar to it. Okay, from the question stem, we know that GH is parallel to DE. We have GH and we have DE. And we see that really what's happening is we're having two separate transverse lines intersecting two parallel lines. The best way to take this question into account is to see it as two separate figures. Take one transverse line with its intersections on the parallel lines, and then the other. We're going to start with this side. We know that whenever we have two parallel lines and they are intersected by one transverse line, then all the acute angles are equal and all the obtuse angles are equal. So let's go back into our diagram and make these all the same color. We're going to make all our acute angles made by one transverse line and the two parallel lines red. We have angle 2, an unnamed angle, angle 6, and another unnamed angle. Now we're going to go in and all obtuse angles are also equal. So we're going to go in and make all the obtuse angles a color as well. So we're going to say green for angle 1, for this unnamed angle, for angle 5, and for this other unnamed angle. We can also tell that when we have two parallel lines and a transverse line, any obtuse and acute angle equal a supplementary angle. Supplementary angles are angles whose sum is equal to 180 degrees. Therefore, if we take any green and any red, then it'll equal 180 degrees. Now let's look at the other side of our figure. These are also two parallel lines with a transverse line, so we can say that all obtuse angles are equal. So let's make all of our obtuse angles blue. So we have 3, 8, and 2 unnamed. And now we can make all of our acute angles black, because those are also going to be equal to each other. Because it's two separate transverse lines, though, we cannot determine that the obtuse angles from this side are the same as the obtuse ones from this side. We do not have the information for that. So now we're ready to go into our answer choices and to see which ones we can calculate easily. If we go to A, we see it's telling us that angle 1 plus angle 2 are equal to 180 degrees. If we go back to our figure, we see that angle 1 and angle 2 are supplementary angles because they are an acute and an obtuse angle from the same transverse line, and so they are equal to 180 degrees. Since we know that this is always true, this is not a possible answer. Now we go to B. In B, it tells us that angle 4 is equal to angle 7. Since they are the same color, then that is also always going to be true, and this is not a possible answer. If we go to C, it tells us that angle 5, angle 8, angle 2, and angle 4 are equal to 360 degrees. If we see the relationship between these angles, we can see that angle 5 and angle 2 are supplementary angles, so they equal 180 degrees, as are angle 4 and angle 8, so they also equal 180 degrees. If we add those together, we get 360 degrees, and we know that C is always true and not a possible answer. If we look at D, it tells us that angle 2 and angle 3 are 180 degrees. We do not know any information about the relationship between them. They are not made from the same transverse line, and thus they do not always have to be equal to 180 degrees because they do not always have to be supplementary angles. So this is the correct answer. However, for complete purposes, let's go to E. And angle E tells us that angle 2 and angle 6 are equal. We see they are both red angles, and thus they are both equal angles, and so E cannot be a correct answer. In this case, D is the correct answer. We could have gotten it by either determining that D was the correct answer or by eliminating all the ones that are always true. When you have a not necessarily true, it is often advantageous to look at all the ones that are definitely always true. So hopefully this will help you arrive at any of the answers that you need when you're working with transverse lines and interior angles. If you'd like any more information, you can visit our website at www.sandersontestprep.com. The link is also in the description below. Or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can recommend topics that you would like to see covered. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.